Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bigger and More podcast. I'm T Bird, and with me, of course, is Sean
Hey, what's happening?
and Jaden.
Hey, fellas.
And since it's Fuck Iowa week, we had to welcome back Double B. What's up, B?
Not much, fellas. How's it going? And also, fuck Iowa.
Yes, indeed. It's my favorite week of the year. So, another disappointing loss to talk about. Another game gave away.
So I got a good way to start this, I think.
First off, I don't mean to cut you off, but I do have to start out with giving a public apology to Chubba Purdy. So I just want to get that out of the way. Now go ahead and say what you got to say.
So I need you guys to make something make sense, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the Wisconsin game is 0 turnovers because the turnover at the end doesn't count. Yeah, that was turnover on downs anyway, right? So we play a clean game, like really clean game. Like I don't even think we put it on the turf at all, right? Like not that we got one back, we got it back or anything that way. We played a clean game and fucking lose in overtime, right? And the week before we had 5 turnovers or 6 turnovers.
Five.
And lose kind of in the same manner.
Mm-hmm.
3, like make that shit make sense. Make that make sense. How we
can
play
you start off 14-0.
Yeah, and play a clean game and get beat, and you can have 5 fucking turnovers and get beat in the same fashion. I just that shit just I can't.
Disappointing by the defense in the second and third quarter.
It's a Nebraska thing. That's all I can say. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense.
They came out and made adjustments and started with that goddamn quarterback draw and just started hammering us with it. It's like, okay, I'm sitting there on my couch watching. I'm like, okay, they're going out of shotgun every single time. He's got a broken hand, so he's inaccurate throwing deep. How do we not just cover the middle and get pressure?
Well, so here's the I was thinking about this like as it was happening and we did get some pressure on him, don't get me wrong, but like Iowa still has a really good offensive line. They still have dudes on that offensive line, and
Wisconsin?
They were picking who'd I say?
Iowa.
Oh, sorry.
Fuck Iowa.
Fuck Iowa. Wisconsin still has good offensive linemen on that team, and so they were picking up the blitzes that we just kept trying to blitz. Like we needed to kind of tone down the blitzing, I think, and focus on that middle. But
spies.
I don't necessarily feel like the spy, like whatever. He got a couple of runs on us. Big deal. They were just at bad times.
It was a big deal.
Well, they were just at bad times. It's not like he fucking went off for 100 and some yards.
I don't think he's particularly mobile, but he's mobile enough in those situations.
He just hit those in good situations, if that makes sense. But like it was just we couldn't quite get home, but we should have had him sacked like 3 times. Like we hit the dude in the backfield and couldn't make the tackle. Which so like it's like, God, do we blitz more or less or whatever? But that's what was leaving the middle open. It just
also
like our defense didn't play bad either. What they were just over 300 yards, right?
Yeah.
Like
barely.
I mean, it's not like they fucking went and put 400 or 500 yards on us. Like they were 104 rushing.
Yeah,
right, something like that.
Sounds right.
But then you had penalties that weren't called, like that tripping on Braylon Allen.
Yeah.
I was going fucking
Nate
nuts.
was losing. I was watching the game.
I was going nuts.
Nate was losing his fucking mind. His fucking mind.
My youngest son and I were watching together, and he was a guard in football, and he claimed it wasn't a trip, and I'm like, bullshit.
He got sat on his fucking ass and was like shit, and he stuck his goddamn foot in the air.
Yeah,
but as far as my son goes, he's a lineman, so he's sticking up for that kind of shit. But yeah, that was huge.
No, that he purposely put his foot up in between the other guy's 2 legs.
I don't know if he necessarily was like, "Oh, I'm tripping this guy," but he stuck his foot up in the air to like, "I'm getting in the way. Something's getting in the way of him coming over the top of me."
Yep.
Right, like whether it had been an arm or
intentional.
Oh, absolutely! Like he made himself as big as possible. Right,
Yeah.
like he put his feet in the air to like,
again,
trip him. You know what I mean? But I don't know if I don't think he was like, "Hey, I'm going to trip this motherfucker." That's his last. I think it was just one of those like he like everything went out. You know what I mean? Like
he was overwhelmed and he did what he could do.
He got sat on his ass too.
Yeah.
And then what was the other no call? There's a face mask on Butler that didn't get called, and then on that same play, what was the other one, Jaden? The more blatant one. It wasn't the tripping one. It was God damn it! There was something on Reimer, I believe. Was it a hold? I don't think it was a hold, but
there were fucking holds all night. I mean, they don't ever call that on Wisconsin. I mean,
yeah. But and then that miss not reaching out to block that punt.
Oh,
no.
He could have easily had
game changer.
The us not getting the 4th and 1 was a game changer.
Yeah.
That was about where you were kind of like
momentum shift.
This one sucks. Like they want it more type deal. You know,
and that was early too, but you could definitely feel something.
Well, it wasn't early. I mean, it was late
second
in the
quarter.
It was late in the third.
No,
it was in the second half. It was second half when we didn't get the 4th. We stopped them twice on 4th down in the first half. Second half, they stopped us because we went like 4 punts in a row, and then we had that. Then that happened, and it was kind of like, fuck, man, we just can't.
Well, if you call them punts,
yeah. What is up with Buschini this year?
He's got to be hurt, right?
Yeah, but we have another punter.
Yeah,
I mean, you're telling me Alvino can't punt?
No, Bleak Roads.
Well, I'm just saying, like punt. somebody there in the special teams can punt more than 18 yards.
Yeah,
I was a marginal punter in high school, and I think I could go out right now and kick 130 yards. I mean, be pulling some shit, but Jesus.
Now let's not let our emotions get the best of us here.
Hey, sounds like a bet.
But
I mean, I'm down.
It's frustrating because we didn't play bad. Like Chubba made great. I mean, there was
Chubba played fucking great, night and day different than he did last year.
Well,
night and fucking day.
Like he looked poised back there. Like he was making good decisions. There was even a couple of like runs. There's like 3rd and long or whatever, and he ran for 6 yards and went out of bounds. Right.
Yeah.
And Nate, like I said, I was watching. Nate's tough to watch the game with because he's relatively emotional. But he's like, oh, why the fuck did he not do? It's like, or he tries to pass it and throws an interception. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I actually
take what they give you.
You know, well, and it was just so we have to punt, but he went and got 6 yards, bettered the situation as much as he could, but didn't turn the ball over. You know what I mean? But even like when he's back there, like I don't know if the handoffs look slow or it's just because he's that much more smooth. If he's that much smoother. With everything, if you know what I mean.
No, I see what you're saying.
In a game like this upcoming game, in any game, punting's not losing. I mean, the way we've just chucked
certainly
the ball
not against Iowa.
No. I mean, they got a great punter. So statistically, Boom Boom and their punter are not far off like their net averages. But
yeah, the guy just does it for the double amount of attempts or triple amount of attempts.
I think the other thing that's frustrating with Buschini is, we punted from the 50 and inside the 50, and we're still putting the ball on the 10 or 15 yard line. You know what I mean? How he can't get that fucker down to the 1? You know what I mean? Like everybody else seems to be able to do it against us, put us on the 1. How can we not get a punt? Like,
I think there's got to be something lingering going on with him.
Well, it's because he's not punting in Montana. The air's not as thin.
That's not true. He punted great last year.
Yeah, wasn't he Big Ten punter of the year or some shit like that? Yeah, I don't. That's frustrating. But so another thing that Nate was getting frustrated, where me and Nate kind of got into a couple arguments, was he is not a fan of Sat. And so my defense, and I feel like I'm going to sit back after I say this and kind of listen to you guys. So my thinking on this is like where I'm sticking up for Sat a little bit is you don't have a quarterback, even Purdy, that cannot throw a back shoulder fade, right? Like to get it close, like that back shoulder fade is catch it or pass interference generally. You know what I mean? He can't even get it close enough. And if that's one of our best quarterbacks, the other guys can't do it either. So you're lacking in that part of the passing.
Eliminates part of your offense.
but you also have young receivers, right? And I'm not saying that Coleman's not going to be good. I'm not going to say that Lloyd's not going to be good or anything like that. But they are freshmen going up against junior
They're
corners.
True freshmen.
They're true freshmen going up against sophomore, junior, senior corners and stuff. Like it's harder to get separation and stuff.
They were playing
like
high school last year.
Yeah, so what Sat's having to deal with is you have a marginal offensive line with young receivers it's hard for them to get off of their guys, and you have quarterbacks that can't throw certain passes. You know what I mean? Like, what do you want Sat to, that's my argument to him, is what do you want Sat to do?
But as the OC, shouldn't he know those limitations by now and call a game accordingly?
So what would be some, like, how would you call a game? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, go back to the Maryland game, and when we were passing that ball, when we were like, first and goal at the 5. I mean, if he catches it, if Coleman doesn't break off that route wrong or incorrectly, maybe we score a touchdown. But I mean, in that situation, what personnel you have. You've got a third string quarterback who hasn't played all year, been injured. I saw, Purdy made some good passes this week, but in that game, should have just ran the ball, ran some clock, maybe kick a field goal, maybe score. So he knows the limitations. He should know them better than anybody. And I listen to Husker Hangover on Sundays. Matt Verzel has a show, and he calls Satterfield, what he does is big brain coaching. Like, hey, look at my big brain, what I can come up with. Almost like something's working, but I'm going to blow your mind. And so that's just how I feel.
I think Rule kind of addressed that a little bit too. I think somebody kind of brought up, how we kind of were doing that reverse in the backfield, got stuffed. Rule's like, well, we still got to give our guys a chance to come up with something. You know what I mean? That was just a good play on them. But to say that it was a bad play call or anything like that is, you still got to come up with something to give the guys an opportunity to showcase their speed and their talent and what they can do. I mean, let's be honest.
Has to be fun.
Let's be honest. If that guy misses that tackle in the backfield, oh boy, he's gone. Like was it Kemp? I can't remember if it was Kemp or Lloyd, but he's gone. It's, you know what I mean? But that guy came, he stayed committed to his spot rather than overcommitting and pursuing, and he made a great play. But if he even half a step overcommits the other way, Lloyd's going to burn him and be gone. So, I mean, it's tough because the history and the pattern shows on offense that we're not getting it done. But at the same time, how do you call a game? How do you set up? What plays are you calling to set up?
I probably give Emmett Johnson the ball more. First quarter, he was, I don't know what he averaged, but he looked pretty damn solid running. And then he didn't get another carry till what was it? Late third, early fourth.
Yeah, we were mixing in Grant quite a bit there.
I get you want to get other players in there and give Grant some, opportunity to maybe.
I think it's less of giving guys opportunity is if you look at our running backs right now, they all are still fresh. Like they all still are running hard. Like if you remember Grant last year after I think it was the Rutgers game, he kind of looked dead. Yeah, his legs were gone. So I think it's less about giving opportunities as it is to keep the legs as fresh as possible.
But haven't we said before we'd like to see one running back kind of be the bell cow, get him a lather? I mean,
I'm all for giving him a lather. I'm not necessarily saying a bell cow, but I'd like to see a guy get 4 or 5 carries in a series before he comes out, and then maybe give the other guy 2 or 3 and then bring him back in. That's what I mean by a lather. I don't necessarily mean like, hey, we got to go with just this guy for 25, 30 carries a game. I'm fine because I think what Emmett Johnson had 14 carries or 13 carries or something like that. And I think, it's pretty even as far as like the carries are split. But I think
you gotta remember too, we're limited. Emmett Johnson goes down. Anthony Grant's already been proven to get hurt before. You gotta keep what we got rolling. So I think if we roll Johnson out nonstop, 1, he's gonna get gassed, and 2, more likely to get hurt.
Is he a redshirt freshman, Jaden? Or is
Emmett
he a
Johnson?
true? Or is he a true freshman?
Red shirt.
He's a red shirt.
Red shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside of Emmett Johnson and Grant, who do we have? I don't even know.
So
Fleeks.
Nate and
Oh,
I got
Fleet.
into it.
Did we even see him this week? Was he out?
No.
Who?
Mm-mm.
Fleet?
Yeah, I don't think he ran the ball once, did he?
No.
Another little argument that Nate and I got into it was during overtime when we got the ball, and he wanted to run play, and I was like, no, this is the time you take a shot right away because it's easier to get open on a longer field than it is if the field gets short, it gets harder to pass. So I would have rather seen us take a shot on first down there, and he was more on the run side. And because they had 9 guys in the box when we ran the ball in that first spot. If you go back and watch that play, we were going to take, it didn't matter if it was option or up the middle, we were going to take a loss on that play.
Yeah.
Just by who they had in the box and stuff. That was kind of my only issue with that. Because then you went behind the change and then you're playing catch up. Now they know you're passing.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks about that kind of.
Do they not give our quarterbacks the option to audible? That's my question. Because when you see 9 people in the box, you should be able to just say no.
Yeah, you should have that backup.
We're not
play.
doing this. We should audible.
Yeah.
Jaden, I've asked myself that question for years, and not just this coaching staff. I mean, because I remember like with Callahan, well, shit, you can go back to like Jamal Lord that I can like really remember watching the game and them calling. Jamal Lord would fucking check out all the time, constantly. Now he would always check into short side option, right?
Yep,
so that
option
was
every time,
which was not beneficial. But then with Callahan, like Taylor was constantly checking out of shit, So yeah, but then after like when Bo Pelini got there, is that I don't remember seeing quarterbacks since Pelini.
Maybe Joe Gans, just because he knew what the hell he was doing.
But other than that, yeah, I agree. I don't know if they even really. Maybe they do. I don't.
They always have to look to the sideline. Like they don't call a play with the check built into the play. You know what I mean? So like in the NFL, every play that comes in, they're giving you the play, they're giving you the coverage, they're giving you the routes, and then they're also giving you the check play too.
I wouldn't think with Purdy, his first start of the year, they would give him that ability. They probably just want him to kind of see the field.
Even Adrian had to look over to the sideline and everything like that. So I think to Sean's point, what he's bringing up is even in these quarterbacks that we've had for multiple years. I mean, Tommy Armstrong was always looking over to the sideline. Like, I don't think it's built into the play call what we're going to check down to. Which, to be fair, I get it. You know what I mean? There's a huge difference between NFL and college, right? Like college, a lot more tempo. So you're trying to get in, get the play going. You're not trying to necessarily have a, 10-second long play call come in and then to regurgitate to your entire team, right? That's asking a lot on a college quarterback as opposed to a professional. So, I mean, I understand that aspect of it, but
do they have and I probably should know this, but can they communicate to the quarterback via helmet in college?
No. That's another reason why. That's why they always have to look over to the sideline. So when somebody's bringing in a play, they can't bring in that long of verbiage when they come in.
That might change next few years though with this whole Michigan thing though.
That's why a lot of them have that wristband too, so they can, so they'll look over and then they'll just like give them a number or whatever. They'll look down and then they can read it off there or whatever. So, but it's without having that helmet communication, it's a huge damper on being able to do things like that to answer Sean's question. So besides, so Jaden, we've kind of heard from everybody else. What were kind of your biggest takeaways of the game?
Well, it just started out so good, and I should have known better. I just thought after a 14-0, I'm like, oh man, we're just gonna run away with this, and I should have known better. And before you know it, they take the lead late in the fourth. But hey, the one bright spot out of all that happened is we actually drove down and was able to tie the game without a turnover or turnover on downs. So that was a positive, right?
Improvement from last week.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as it was going to overtime, I said we're screwed because we haven't had a first down in 7 overtimes now in a row. I think is the
6 or 7.
I think it's 6 or 7, but we haven't even scored since in an overtime game since 2014. That is pathetic.
Yeah.
Do you think that our players kind of bought the hype that we were already going bowling? I mean, what were we, 5-3, or what was our record
Well,
at that point?
Yeah, we were 5-3, and then now 3 in a row. So
I mean, you got to have a little bit of confidence, but God damn, we constantly snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, don't we? I mean, it hasn't mattered who the coach has been lately. I mean,
no,
it's hard. I mean, I'm gonna watch and I'm gonna cheer, and it almost hurt a little bit more this weekend than the last weekend, than it had in the last 2 years with the dumb fuck in charge, allegedly. I mean, Frost, but it just sucks.
it's got to end. It's got to end sometime, right?
Oh, you would think, but then we just keep it going
How long does the deal with the devil last?
until Tom's dead.
Sean, get on that.
I'm dealing with shit in the house, man. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
you are.
God, I got a half-naked kid.
What just happened there?
Just fucking shower.
Write it out in post.
Sean, you need a picture so when you're dealing with shit, you just have like the still,
Just
still
like-
frame of.
I was gonna like,
There you go.
you know,
Yeah, nobody wants to see that.
You do have a stop camera option right down there at the bottom.
oh, I don't see it. Sorry. I got the screen all big so I can see all you guys better.
Yeah, it's right down there at the bottom.
I don't have it, man. It's like
Move your mouse.
there you go.
Like both
Oh,
of us?
Jesus, B, stop.
shit.
Stop.
Okay. Look at that. See, still
Stop.
learning. Still learning.
That is the grandpa in you coming out right there. You
Right.
take
It is.
selfies like that too? Just
What's a selfie?
yeah, exactly.
But
All right. Let's put the wheels back on the bus here. Some good news. Some good news heading into Iowa week or fuck Iowa week. Ty
Iowa.
Robinson's coming back.
60
year.
year. Yeah.
Mhm.
Grant Bricks. We got a Chris Fong Bong.
Uh-huh.
Bong bong.
Yep. So looks
And
like
then- Go
he's
ahead.
96 rating as an offensive tackle.
God, he looks slow. From the film I've watched, he's so goddamn big. So hopefully he can get some footwork down.
Yeah.
Do you,
Where's he from?
Iowa.
Iowa.
If you ever watch any of Briggs's film, I mean, he looks like me standing next to Shaq. I mean, he's just so much bigger than all them kids out there. I mean, so hopefully. Now, going back to Ty Robinson, do you have any leaning one way or the other regarding Tony White? There's a lot of talk about him going maybe San
Yeah.
Diego State, Syracuse, wherever. Do you think Ty Robinson knows he's going to be back, and that's one of the
That's
reasons he's
kind of what I'm
sticking
thinking.
around?
I
hope
don't think
so.
it. I don't think
think
it makes up his entire decision. I think he knows he's got a little bit more to do before going to the NFL. Which, don't get me wrong, I think he's put enough on tape this year to go.
I think it's a matter of draft stock.
Sure, but I think if Tony White was coming back, it would definitely help his decision.
Do you also do you think, I don't know if I remember this correctly, but weren't we kind of down on Ty Robinson the last 3 years, saying this is his prove
Don't
it
say
year?
we.
Well, a lot of people were just saying he really hadn't proven much or done much.
There's one person here.
Which corner?
You know
It's
the
me.
corner.
It's me. It's me. It's fine. I'll say it. I still don't think he's done what he should be doing.
I
Maybe
think
that's
he's been
why
a
he's
lot better
doing
this
that.
year.
It's gotten a lot better these last like 3 games too, which sucks because these are the games that we're losing. But it seems like he's a lot more disruptive these last 3 games than he has.
I think to B's point though, the last 2 years were pretty disappointing for him.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, he had high expectations. Everybody had
Yeah.
high
Well, yeah, because
expectations. of him.
it's going to be the same
The fucking
expectations.
monster.
Well, it's going to be the same expectations that we have for Lindhart, right?
Lenhart.
Cam Lenhart.
I don't
Like,
he
that dude-
wasn't as big of a name as Ty
No,
Robinson.
but he's a.
I'd say for
what-
Polar Bear, for
but
sure.
what-
Polar
but
Bear
I'm saying
came
for
in
what
with
he's
those
done this season, though, you
expectations.
see him come out as a fucking true freshman and doing the shit that he's doing. Like, yeah, I'm
Mhm.
expecting him to be very disruptive next year and the year after that and the year after that. You know,
What about
love you
Bryce
too, man. Have
Benhart?
fun. Where the
What
fuck
about
is he going?
Benhart?
Sean.
Anything on? What about Benhart? I mean, I think he's been doing.
He's doing pretty good.
Benhart's doing
think-
great, which we haven't even heard if he's coming back yet or not.
I mean, really, he had
Where
nowhere to
would he
go but
go?
up, right? I mean,
There's
To
no
the
way,
NFL?
but like, yeah, where's he going to go? I mean, he's absolutely not getting drafted
No.
this year.
No.
Why?
Benhart,
Why not?
don't
Farniok
get-
got
you-
fucking
you
drafted.
don't get to have 3 years of trash and one decent year.
Farniok got drafted.
where's he at now?
And he didn't even have a good year.
Yeah, Farniok's still with. Is he with the Cowboys still?
Still
I
on the
don't
P
think so.
squad with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But listen, he got drafted, Sean, and he didn't even have one good year. So Benhart could absolutely get drafted.
I don't know. Yep.
Wow.
You know what Casey would say.
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
Get him the fuck out of here.
He's our best lineman this year.
Which is sad.
It is.
Our
That's-
line is not too bad this year, I don't think. You know,
It's
they've
better.
made improvements every week, it seems like.
Yeah, it's better.
They're
Except
like,
for
I mean,
Teddy and Turner have been
Teddy
huge
P, Teddy
disappointments.
penalty.
well,
Is that-
Teddy
is
had a
that
lot
true?
of Teddy had a lot of penalties last week.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's just too big. I mean, he's just too tall. You can't move them feet when you're that tall. I mean,
Yeah, we
Can
need
you?
to get back to like those 6'3", 6'4".
I was thinking 6'6", 6'5" instead of 6'9", 6'10".
well,
Right.
like another thing Virgil talks about is the linemen back in his day. They weren't 6'7", 6'8". I mean, they were athletes. We need to find those linemen that are. If you watch Jason Kelsey play for the Eagles or the center for the Chiefs, even those guys are mobile. I mean, we need athletes on the line.
So I'm looking at transfer portal. Yesterday was the first time you could enter if you were a grad transfer or if you had like a coach leave or whatever, right? And there were 250 people that already entered in that first day, but just on those parameters alone. But there's a Holy Cross quarterback that I think would be definitely worth a hell of a look. And I don't think we're going to be the only ones looking at him.
I think he
and then
can run
also
and
there's
pass, right. He
Yeah.
can run and pass. Yeah.
But the other one that I noticed from Holy Cross, I believe it's either Holy Cross or Yale, he's a tight end that moved to tackle this year. So before he was a tight end, he was like 6'6", and like
well, Cam Jurgens action.
right, but as a tackle instead of as a guard,
Right.
which give me an athletic tackle at 6'6" all day. I don't really care if he's all that scrawny. Like I didn't see what his final weight was for this year, but even if he's skinnier, I'll take it because then you could get the movement that you need. And
Yeah.
if the more athletic you are, the more you can handle somebody bending the corner on you a little bit too. So I think that kid's worth a look as well. I want to go watch his film and see how he did his tackle this year.
Yeah, I don't.
Like-
I just know linemen are hard to find in the portal.
Yeah, if they're in the portal, it's for a reason.
Yeah, most of your good, anybody that's worth a fuck online.
But that's what I'm saying.
they're-
That's why I'm looking at like these Holy Cross and Yale. You know what I mean? The
Which
Ivy League schools.
I agree
What-
with you too.
They've
Well, I mean, I
done
even think-
enough to bump up to a bigger program.
I even
Yeah. Look
think,
for
like,
some FCS players in that regard
well,
too.
and I think that's
Yeah.
where you got to go is because, and I agree with you, T and Brian. Like you have to go that route because, like, okay, is it Bo Nix? Bo Nix is at Oregon, right? He went
Yeah.
from okay, like Bo Nix would never come to Nebraska, right? Like he was going from a good program in Auburn to a better program. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like you're not getting a Bo Nix to come to Nebraska right now. It's just not going to happen.
No.
So like you and that's gonna be across the board. You know what I mean? Georgia Tech, that's not really great either. You know what I mean? He's
yeah.
Actually Chubb is probably your closest one from coming from Florida State to here. Right.
Yep.
But outside of that, like you're gonna have to go look in FCS and you're gonna have to go look in these, you kind of
JUCO.
yeah. I mean, what's the difference between the transfer portal and looking in FCS than JUCO? I mean, it's kind of the same. You're kind of going down the same rabbit hole there.
Yeah.
You know, along with NIL and along those lines, I like North Dakota State, which, you know, FCS powerhouse, and they're struggling this year because a lot of the teams that they're competing against have more NIL money, and they're not getting all those players. Kind of like Nebraska back in the day.
Well, and
when
their
you could have
coaching
100
staffs have been depleted over the years too.
South Dakota
Yeah.
State's number 1.
right now.
And,
Yeah.
South
And-
Dakota State is.
and
South
South
Dakota State,
Dakota's up there, and then North Dakota and North Dakota State were each like 10 and 11
I think when
ranked.
South Dakota beat,
seeds. I mean,
I could.
10,
They
11
beat North
seeds.
Dakota State this year, so the disparity is not just in Division 1 or FBS or whatever it's called. I mean, the NIL. That's another thing we should talk about is what can Nebraska do to improve the NIL? I mean, get Davison out of there or what?
Just start winning. More
What would you
people-
want to improve on the
More
NIL?
people give you money.
Well, I guess the problem is it's kind of confusing. I don't know how much I really know about it. Like, where does that money come from? It's a separate entity, right? But who puts money in there? Donors, boosters?
Donors, boosters, like
Businesses,
Dinsdale's and
yeah.
businesses put money in there, and then the collectives, which is like what 1889 or 18,
Yeah,
whatever the fuck.
Which,
it
to
is.
be honest, as long as Matt Davidson, that fucking crooked motherfucker, as long as he's heading up any NIL, I don't trust that we're ever.
Yeah,
gonna
but
be
the
fucking
thing
good.
is what we're talking about is like we lost that running back. I guarantee you is because we did not pay him enough in NIL
Mhm.
or didn't offer him enough in NIL. That's the
like
reason.
the Kawan Lacey,
Lacey, yeah,
commit to
yeah.
Alabama,
Because he committed to us when we were shitty.
Yep.
You know, not saying that we're not still shitty, but we are a game not.
But
as
somebody
shitty, you know?
came in and gave him a bag.
Yeah, and so the thing is I don't think it's necessarily Matt Davidson. It's Nebraska as a whole. We're just not going to do it that way.
Yeah, I mean,
We're not
fuck,
going to offer.
Could you imagine if Warren Buffett would just donate a half a fucking percent?
He don't even leave his money to his kids.
No.
But it's just the way Nebraska is. Whoever's in charge of that, they have that fucking old mentality of like, well, we're not gonna, you know, we might pay him after he's proved himself, but we're not gonna pay
Yeah.
an incoming guy $1.5 million to be a quarterback at Nebraska because we're not. You know, that's just the Nebraska. They're stuck in that fucking way.
I think also you got to remember how much we ask people to donate money for the stadium renovations, the new facilities. So you not only do you have that, but now we're gonna go turn around and ask them for even more money to pay players. Like,
Yeah, but what's the
also
point of having these
point that
facilities if you don't have the
mentality.
fucking players?
yeah, what good are those facilities?
Well, and I'm not being like I feel like you were sarcastic in that comment. Like I'm being
No.
serious. Like sweet, we got great facilities, but we can't get fucking. We're getting a bunch of 3-star kids here.
No,
You
I
know,
mean,
like-
facilities do matter a little bit. I mean, like, fuck, look at Northwestern. They built that new practice facility right on the lake, and
Michigan.
that thing's fucking gorgeous. And then, did you see the new renovations now that they're doing their new stadium? Dude, that thing looks amazing. I
But
want to go.
it doesn't hold. What's it only? It only holds like
No,
fucking
it's small.
40,000, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
fucking gorgeous. I want to go to a game there bad when it's built.
It'll be just a fuller version of what they got now.
No, it looks
Is
amazing.
it-
I'll
is it
send you the
brand-
renderings.
Is it brand new or is it?
It's not
it'll
built
be-
yet.
It'll be.
They're
it
built.
will be.
They're,
It'll be
they're
new.
working on.
Like
Yeah, it'll be new.
2025 or 6.
Well, it can't
Almost
yeah.
reminds
Construction
reminds
start
me of-
immediately, they said.
me of kind of like all those new like SoFi in LA. It has a lot of glass like windows.
Yep.
and- so you can see the lake, I believe, from the
Yep.
stadium. But
natural light. A lot of
Yeah.
natural light.
that's bad beer.
Well, it's not covered though, is it?
No. It's
Oh,
open.
well.
Yeah, it's not covered.
It kind of looked like it, but they didn't really show an overview like top of the stadium. But it almost looked like an enclosed structure to me. But
No, they had an overview on it. They did. It's not closed. Which, if you're gonna make something that small, and that's not a dickhead comment. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna structurally, if you're gonna make something that small, why not put it? You're in Chicago. Why not put a fucking roof over it?
well, and then you
Yeah,
can use it
know.
for concerts or whatnot. I mean,
Yeah.
in the off season. And you guys think we'll ever dome it up here or not?
No.
Nope.
No.
I don't want us to, but when my friend played at North Dakota State, he was recruited, and they told him, yeah, we're going to build a dome, call it the Fargo Dome. And he said the 5 years he played there, he watched it being built. He didn't once play in it, but
What's that stadium hold? Do we know?
I think it's like 55, 60, which is
Is it?
good
Oh,
for
it's really-
FCS.
Yeah, oh, shit,
I mean,
I didn't realize it was that big.
I went and watched a couple games while he played, and he tells me in October, like, whatever you do, bring some cold weather gear. And this was back in the 90s where, we didn't have all the cold weather gear like we have now. So I wore I wore a jean jacket and a pair of jeans thinking that'd be cool. That fucking sun went down. North Dakota cold weather is no fucking joke. I mean,
Yeah, that's a different cold, man.
yeah, it was, as tough as I think we are here in the middle of the country, them fuckers are. I wouldn't mess with one of them. So, T, what'd you find out? Is it enclosed or?
Nope, it's open.
I just love being right.
Wow, it's rare. Enjoy it
I about spit on my camera.
as he freezes up.
Hey, I was right about. I'm pretty sure I was right on just the wrong direct. This is the wrong way.
Sure.
Didn't I say 24-17?
Yeah,
I said Nebraska.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
the way it
you did. You were the only one that picked Nebraska, I believe.
Yep.
sucks. Yeah. So
Yeah, we wouldn't know you were gone.
yeah, that was a
His
fucking
face was
weird,
there.
dude. Like I was so pissed too because my screen just went blue and then just started saying update coming. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like
You got to
this is
turn
like,
automatic updates off.
God.
I just changed mine before this tonight because I didn't want to pull a Sean. So
I'm the
That's
king
right.
of fucking
Everyone's learning
technical
what not to
difficulties.
do from you,
Yeah.
Sean.
Perfect.
You're a great example.
what are you sipping on there, Sean?
Oh, Pendleton.
I got the banquet beer going on here tonight. So,
Get that Yellowstone vibe from you.
oh yeah,
All right.
So fuck Iowa, huh?
Fuck
Fuck
Iowa. All right. So somehow we have shifted from being 1.5 point dogs to 2.5 point favorites.
We are now 2.5.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why? Do
I
they
thought
think
I thought it was evened up.
we're cool? No.
2.5.
Us being dogs by a 1.5 point to a pick 'em to us being a point favorite to now we're 2.5 point favorites.
Shit,
And
we are
what's the
2.5.
over under? 27.5 or 28?
26 and a half.
Oh my, that is pathetic.
how much does being at home usually give you?
3 points.
3 or 7?
Yeah,
3.
usually
I
it's
mean,
3. Yeah.
It's probably the only reason. I mean,
Yeah, but they're 9 and fucking 2. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit what anybody says about their fucking offense, anything else. Like
What?
they're 9 and 2.
Well, I think some people are under the impression that they're gonna like sit some starters. I'm like,
that's what I was
why?
saying.
There's
Why
got to
would they?
be there's
No.
got to be a clause, an incentive in Farron's contract to win 10 games.
Realistically, they should be 10 and 1 right now.
Yeah.
who beat them?
Oh,
Minnesota on that
yeah,
fucking weirdo, the
fair catch.
Phantom, the fair catch deal. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like they should be 10 and 1. Like that's wild that we're a 2.5 point favorite. Wild to me.
They should be 10 and 1 with the what is it?
Well, let's
The
be realistic.
130th
Illinois
ranked
should have beat them. You know,
offense. Yeah,
there's
that's
a,
true.
There's a
They-
couple of games they could have lost to. Like,
Yeah,
let's not
Well,
act
they,
like
they're just
Iowa's
good at they're
world
just good at pulling
beaters.
it off.
Didn't Northwestern give him a little bit of a push there
Mhm.
too?
Everybody has, to be fair.
Yeah.
No, they ran away from Rutgers a little bit at the end of the game. It was tied at half, but then I think Iowa kind of put it on them in the second.
Yeah, I
half of
think
that
you're
game.
right.
Just I don't know. Is their defense because so JP said in our group chat that basically they're like on paper it's two identical teams going at each other.
It's pretty close. Yeah, I mean our offense is better and their defense is better. But
So how much
it's
better
very
how much better
marginal.
is their defense?
They are 7th in the country. We are 15th.
Because what's
But-
crazy is like if you go back and watch okay, our game against Michigan, we got fucking boat raced, but they got boat raced against Penn State.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
when
And
you're looking at a
so
defensive front.
our offense is 113th in the nation. Theirs is 130th. I mean, it's bad. They average only 245 yards a game.
Yeah, but they still average the same amount of points as we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, which
they're
is-
like 3 points or they.
I'll be right back.
I'm trying to think of what I was reading, but it was like on total points on the season, they only have 3 more total points than we do on the whole season.
No, we have more total points than they do.
Oh, do we really? Okay.
Yeah, by 3.
But
Because we average 18.7. They average 18.5.
Yeah, but yet we give up 18 points a game. They only give up 12.
Mm-hmm. They're third in the nation in that. And look at their net punting. I mean, that is crazy. That punter, it's 44.8. They're number 1 in the country. Almost 45 yards net.
That's going to be the difference in the game. If we can't get out, if we can't get out and score on them, you know, you need to go back and watch Penn State game. Like
now, so
you know
last
I mean?
week was a race to 20. This week's a race to 14.
To 6.
14.
Where are they? So are they? Because they probably. I don't think they faced any running quarterback. Have they outside of
Penn State's?
I don't know that. I don't know much. I don't know shit about Penn State, man.
Did they play Maryland? No, I don't think they did.
No, they didn't play Maryland.
Well, he was not really a runner, anyways.
The only one I can think of is Wisconsin. That gets out and moves, but I mean, I don't really consider him like a mobile quarterback. What's that?
I don't think Mordecai played against him.
I think he was injured.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. We lost to a team that had a guy with a broken hand and a running back with a gimpy leg.
Yeah, I know. I came downstairs at the start of the game and I was like, "Motherfucker, Mordecai's playing."
Although I'd like to see Breland Allen really hate Wisconsin and just be like, "I still want to wear red, and I'm going to transfer to Nebraska."
I think he's going to the NFL this year.
Is he? Probably smart on his part.
Yeah.
How nobody stomped on the quarterback's hand in the bottom of a pile is beyond me. I mean,
well,
whatever it takes.
I thought we were moving on to Iowa. Let's go.
Yeah, that's true.
Fuck Iowa.
Fuck Iowa.
Fuck Iowa. This game stresses me out because I do not want the season to be over at fucking Thanksgiving.
There's
still a small chance, even if we lose.
Over to a loss to fucking Iowa.
It shouldn't have come down to this. Is the problem?
No, it shouldn't.
But did it surprise anybody? Really?
Yeah, because you had an undefeated fucking October, and shit was looking like we had something, like we knew what we were doing. And the other thing that sucks is like we're back into this fucking 1-score loss bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That shit's
getting good at that.
Boy, that shit is getting frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, how do you go all of October undefeated, then potentially go completely defeated in November when you just needed one fucking game?
And the worst part is, it's not like we got fucking smoked. I mean, we couldn't.
And we're not playing Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State in those weeks. Like,
and Chuba's the starter for this week, right?
Yeah,
he's got to be.
He's got
Harvard and Sims both were full participants in practice this week.
But Chuba's the start. Like they're
he's got it. He's got it.
He earned it.
So he's taking full first team reps. Because my question is like 2 weeks with him taking first team reps, right? Like, can he be the difference maker in this? Like, is this
chemistry with the
receivers?
It's
like the no turnovers thing, right? Like, so we got over that hurdle last game, right? So like, can he make enough plays throwing and legs to be a difference maker? Now Iowa's defense is a hell of a lot better than Wisconsin's defense.
What is the strength of their defense? All of it?
Everything.
Well, now they're is it safety?
Their linebackers fly.
Safety or cornerbacks out. The fucking
the punt returner guy.
Yeah.
Dijon or whatever his name is.
But he was a stud. He's a stud. Like him being out is big for us.
Yeah.
Isn't he the punt returner too?
Yeah.
So Iowa gives up. They're 18th in the country in rush defense and 10th in the country in pass defense.
Yeah, I mean they're just all around good.
Yeah.
The good thing is we're not good at anything against that, so we'll surprise them maybe.
As far as Chuba goes, did anybody else appreciate how he ran the option last week? Like he had those fake pitches. I mean, it was just way different. And
I don't like me because thank you. I was just going to say that. I don't like the way we run the option.
We don't go through the fullback to fake the handoff.
Well, you don't do the triple.
You have to have that middle trap.
There's no triple. It's just an option, not a triple option.
You're not moving the linebacker's eyes.
I like that we're running the option, but we're not Nebraska from the 90s, and it shows. But I do like the option.
I like the way he runs. I like the way he runs it, not the way.
You got to hand it off to that fullback 3 or 4. What you do is you fake it to the fullback 3 or 4 times, run it down the end, and then that 5th time you give it to the fullback. Corey Schlesinger,
I was about to say, or hear me out. Let's actually hand off to a fullback every once in a while and keep him honest.
Jaden, you're exactly right. Both of you guys are. Like that fullback, you have to just keep them linebackers to get them to step forward to allow your quarterback and running back to get to the outside. You know what I mean? Like, but when you run that speed option, which is what we're running, those linebackers are immediately moving to the outside and shutting down all lanes.
Because we don't variate, we don't show any differences, or it's all the same tendencies, and they know it.
Now, I think Harburg is a harder runner and faster.
I don't think so.
In straightaway speed, he's faster.
Did you see how fast Chubba was running?
I mean,
Purdy's pretty fast.
No, it was 20.1 miles an hour. Is what they clocked him at.
I do think Chubba's a little bit more slippery. Like he's got a little bit of a sidestep to him.
He's got the wiggle.
He's got a little wiggle where Harburg does not. Where Harburg has zero wiggle. Like he is.
Yeah, no, he's power. He's going straight.
Yeah.
But I had no idea Chubba was that fast. I really didn't.
I think it was like his 20-yard run or whatever that he went out of bounds, but he's carrying that fucking football like a loaf of bread. I was just like, dude, tuck that shit, man. Like, come on. But I'm just hoping he's the difference maker, right? In like this Iowa. So this is like a guy that they haven't seen. I think he is a more accurate passer than the other 2 guys for sure, especially on like slants and shit. Like he can thread that into a window.
Well, he also
went more than 25 yards too. I mean,
well, he was on time with that one. Was it to Lloyd or who was that to? Yeah,
Lloyd, the long one.
Yeah, he hit him in stride. Like the timing on that was good. Like that he hit him on his break. I'd like to see more of that. I hope the coaches are a little bit more confident. Maybe we see some more routes that way.
We had that one where we missed it to Malachi because Teddy couldn't hold a fucking block.
Yeah. He was wide open.
Wide.
That shit ain't going to get any easier for Teddy either.
No.
And what year is Teddy? Is he a junior? Sophomore?
Sophomore, yeah.
Oh. He had to be redshirt.
No, redshirt.
Is he redshirt?
Yeah, he redshirted last year.
I couldn't remember.
Not last
he got injured.
Yeah, last year.
Oh, because he
2 years
got
ago.
injured.
Yeah, 2 years ago he
got hurt.
True freshman.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's our line's got their work cut out for him.
Yeah, they do.
The team has their work cut out for them. Isn't it supposed to be cold? Really cold?
Mm-hmm. Maybe snowy even a little bit.
Yeah. So I don't know if that helps us or hurts us, to be honest.
Well, what's their runoff? What's their rushing offense?
That's Iowa? It's 119 a game, 105th in the country.
Okay, so
just awful.
Their best bet is to be able to pass. Then it's
their passing's 127.
Jesus Christ,
theirs is worse than ours. Their passing.
Well, what's our rushing?
So actually, a snow game helps us because we're 26 in rushing in the country. So then we're 126 in passing. So if we can just run the ball the entire time, that helps. But then you got to remember we're going against the number, and their rushing defense is worse than their passing. So. They're giving up 108 a game. We're averaging 186 in rushing.
The good thing, too, is I don't know if anybody watched the game this last weekend, but that quarterback Hill, I mean, he's not going to run like Mordecai did. I mean, he's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
So I'm hoping the D can tee off on him because he's kind of a statue.
The problem is
he's like a taller version of me, a fat guy playing quarterback.
Can we get a pick 6? You know what I mean? Can we get something? Like, we got to score on defense, apparently.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be a punt.
Yeah, their special teams is definitely better than ours.
All right,
dude. There was that one. Sorry, not to go back to the Wisconsin game, but something that I did like to see. And Nate and I kind of like looked at each other. Punt comes to us, and fucking dude ran by a returner. I was like, oh, that's a fair. He must have called fair catch, right? And then all of a sudden he takes off fucking down the field and got 8 yards or whatever. Yeah. But I was like, oh shit,
hit the overs.
I was like, yeah.
All right, let's dive in some over-unders.
Okay. Well, let's start with the usual rushing yards for Nebraska. We already kind of went through it. They are Iowa gives up 108. We average 186. So
Yeah. No.
I don't know what to even really
140?
140, yeah. Over under.
I'll go over.
Okay,
Seeing as how Chuba had 100 by himself last week.
That's true.
We're going. What are we going? What are we setting our overs at for
140.
for us rushing?
Yeah.
Well, we went 195 against them, right? Last week.
Last week, but
And
this is a
Chuba had
much
100 by himself.
this is a much different defense.
What's Iowa hold theirs to?
108.
We're going over. Oh, 140?
Mhm.
Yeah, we're going over.
Under. I just think they're. I don't know. It's. I'm losing hope. I mean, I hope we win.
Of course you are. But and this goes back to what we were saying. What I was saying earlier is I don't think Iowa's seen a running quarterback this year, like a true quarterback that can get out and do some bullshit.
Yeah,
their defense is just they're stout. That's why I say under.
I'll say over just because I think we'll get a few of those. We drop back to pass, and so Purdy has to take off, and he might do another one of those 55-yarders for a touchdown. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Fuck, that might win the game.
Well, it probably would.
Touchdown.
I mean, like I said, first 1 to 6, I think might win this game.
10-9 football game.
6-3, maybe.
Did you see how that game opened up? It was like, was it Iowa's game? Was it like 2-0? They started out with a safety, I think, last weekend.
Yeah. I was unfortunately watching that game. They're just so hard to watch, and it's going to be hard to watch this game, I think. Let's see. We'll go Iowa rushing yards. They average 120, 119. We give up 86.5, so we'll just set it at 100.
Under.
Push.
I'll go over.
What?
Yeah.
You think Iowa's going to okay.
We'll see. Somebody's got to be different outside of, double B pushed, I guess, but passing yards for Nebraska, 131 we average. They give up 173, so 150. Yeah, 150.
Say that again, sorry.
Passing yards for Nebraska, over under 150.
I'm going to go under.
Remember, we don't have Trey Palmer this year.
Yeah. Shit. I would probably have to go under.
Yeah, I'm going under.
I think weather-wise, too.
Yeah.
I think under because of quarterback. We'll see.
What Purdy pass for last week?
Like 100. What was it? 20-ish.
Yeah.
And the one was the
18.
big chunk touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it was all dink and
Definitely
dunk kind of
yeah,
stuff.
We're definitely going under.
Iowa passing yards, they average 126. We give up actually quite a bit, 221. Man, I don't even want to set it really that high. I don't even want to split the difference here, so I'll just say 150 for Iowa.
They'll go over.
That was for their passing or rushing?
They're passing.
I'm going to go under.
That's
I think I will. I think I will too.
Woo.
Well, let's see. The usual turnovers for Nebraska, or how many times we turn the ball over. Obviously, last week was a good week. Only had one, and that was towards the end. And I wouldn't even count that as a turnover. It's just kind of even it to, try to save our own ass. So over under 1.5.
Oh, bullshit. Fuck that. You got to take the season average. Fuck you. You don't get to take last game into consideration. Fuck that. No. No, you got to change that. You got to change
You want 2.5?
What were we average? We were average like what, 2.8 last game or before last game?
Yeah, but we got a different quarterback, man.
It's weak. That's weak. You got to set it at like 2
Fine, we'll go to 2.
under.
2.1.
You're a bitch.
I wouldn't go under at 1.5. I'll go under at 2.
I'll go under.
I'm going to go over,
I'm going over.
especially with the weather.
Yep. Let's do sacks. So we average almost 3 a game.
Did we
Where's-
get one at Wisconsin? Did we get a sack at Wisconsin?
I think we had 2. We had 2. Jamari Butler and
Jesus.
who's the other one?
I knew we were
Ryan
close.
Ryder?
I couldn't remember remember.
Right. Well, I think it was Ryder.
Okay.
Okay. So we average almost 3 a game. They average giving up 2 a game. So over and under 2.5.
Over.
Push.
You can't push on
Push
a
a
half.
Yes,
Uh,
he can. There can be a half a sack.
Yeah.
No, there's no such thing. No, a single person can get a half a sack.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No, the other person that helped gets the other half.
Yeah, there's no
All
push
right.
on a half.
Under. Fuck you.
I'm going over.
I'll go over. Holy crap. They only average like 3 penalties a game. That's wild.
We got to be fucking close to the same though, don't we?
We're at 5. They're 4th in the country. We're 30th. So penalties for Nebraska, we average 5, so we'll just set it at 5. Last few games, I mean, I don't know how many we had last week. I know Teddy had
Teddy
3.
had 3.
Yeah.
Teddy penalty.
And you're setting this at what?
Just 5.
I'll go under.
I will push. I think Teddy has 2 himself.
Nah, they fixed it. Old Raiola fixed it. He
Going
fixed the
under.
problem.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go under. It's just going to be an ugly game, and the refs are just going to let them play, I think.
Big 10 refs?
Well, yeah.
We're not getting the fucking calls.
No. Let's just do punt returns as well. Well, punt return yards for Nebraska. We average 3 yards a game.
Jesus Christ.
Under.
Under. So you're saying all fair catches.
Yeah, might as well. The Panico effect, Santino Panico effect.
Oh, we had to
My-
average 0 that year.
I'm gonna have to go under 2. What are we're setting it at 3?
Yeah. But they have the best punter.
That's what
in-
I'm saying. Their punter is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go under.
I'm going over. I think he fucks up.
Like slips on the turf and
I think he
has a
fucks
bad
up.
one.
I think he fucks up and we get one. We get
like
a
it.
5-yarder.
Yeah. I think
5
yeah.
full
I'm,
yards.
I'm gonna go over. I just for hope.
I think their
It's
special
3
teams is
fucking yards.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
special teams really good. What's their special teams rank in the country?
I don't know. It doesn't give us that.
Really good.
All I know is they did give us their net punting, which is first, punt returns, which is 40th, kick returns, which is 23rd. So they're up there in everything.
Yeah.
Are you saying what they hold opponents to?
I'm just saying overall special teams.
Overall special
Yeah,
teams.
just overall.
If you were to combine them all together, what would they be ranked? I'd put them in the top 10 for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm staying with the under.
Anybody else got
Okay.
any?
No. What do we got for score predictions?
Can I ask a question?
No.
Sure.
I know that was a question I just asked, but can I ask another question after I ask the question?
Damn.
Do you guys think there is any danger of losing Fedoni? Because
No.
I don't think they utilize him the way they should.
No.
And why don't they?
Well, they need a quarterback.
Well, apparently this new guy can pass. So
I mean, he's okay.
well,
mediocre at best.
Apples to oranges compared to them other motherfuckers. He's like a Joe Montana wannabe. Or a Brock Purdy wannabe.
No,
Right.
he's. I don't think he'd ever leave. He's just, he's been hell. He has a Nebraska tattoo. He's been a Nebraska fan since he was a little kid. So I can't
He's
see him. I
Yeah,
can't see him
I don't see
leaving.
him leaving.
I hope so. What about Polar Bear? I've heard some people might be wanting to pull him from the portal.
No.
I think he's a
Why-
Husker
why-
fan.
You're not going to see any starters, I don't think.
No, especially on defense. I don't see anybody on defense leaving.
You need to quit.
Unless White leaves.
You need to quit getting all your sourcing from the National Enquirer. Okay, while you're in line at the grocery store.
Fuck you talking about? I'm angry when I'm
That's
in
how-
that one. I'm getting me a
That's how
Snicker bar.
fucking off base all of this shit is.
I don't see any. Like, I agree with Jaden. I don't see any of the starters leaving. And if anybody's leaving, I think it's offensive side of the ball
But yeah.
that are getting out. I don't think anybody on the defensive side of the ball is leaving.
I
And if they do leave, I do believe, like, if you're talking like your second, third guys, because we do have to make room. Like, Rule has to get rid of dudes. We have to have attrition. So if guys on defense are leaving, I believe it's because they've been told, like, maybe this isn't the place for you. Type of situation.
Yeah. Okay. What's your fuck Iowa prediction?
I'll go first. Sure, why not? Let's do the 13-9
Whoa. We're close.
Nebraska.
All right.
I said this is going to be a 13-10 game. I did not really think that we were going to win, but I will never pick Iowa to beat us. Fuck Iowa. 13-10. Good guys.
Brian, get out of the way. I know you're picking Iowa.
Well,
I gotta end it on a fucking positive.
we were sitting at 5-3, right? We pissed away these last 3 games. Our offense is almost non-existent, as is Iowa's. I think Iowa 12, Nebraska 4 with 2 safeties.
Jesus Christ.
You think we get 2 safeties?
Jesus Christ.
But Iowa's gonna win with 12 on 4 field goals. So
12-4.
offensive palooza. You heard it first.
Jesus.
Hey,
I'm
you
sorry.
asked. You asked.
It's awful. And it's because I can't pick. There's just no fucking way I can pick Iowa. I'm going 17-14 or 17-15.
15.
Nebraska. Yeah.
Wow, you're taking the
What,
over.
5 field goals?
Hmm?
5 field goals?
I was going to get a safety.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because, and here's I was actually thinking about this today at work, is they're going to get a safety because their fucking punting is so good and their
Mhm.
defense is so good. They're going to pin us at the fucking 1 or 2 at least twice
Yep.
in this game. And I think they're going to get the 1. I just hope it's not a momentum changer to the point where all of a sudden the fucking wheels fall off. But I think
It'd be,
Yep.
it'd be
I think
perfect.
Chubba Purdy is going to be a difference maker in this game. I think we are going to go be able to score some points.
Well, if we
All
get
right.
pinned at the 1, it'd be a good time to do a fullback, dive. Just saying.
Right.
Or a Tommy
Or
Armstrong.
Tommy Armstrong, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nuno
yeah.
YOLO. Fuck it.
Tommy arm so strong.
All right.
There you have it.
Well, on that note, hopefully we're going bowling. And next episode, we'll see you next week. And fuck
Hopefully,
Iowa.
hopefully
Fuck
we're talking about
Iowa.
a bowl game.
Fuck
Fuck
Iowa.
Iowa.
Go
Hey,
Big
happy
Red.
Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, fellas.
Yep,
Yeah, you too,
You
buddy.
too.
Go Big Red.
Go Big Red.
Red.